It is our pleasure to welcome Dale Berra, who is the author of a compelling book. It's called My Dad, Yogi, a memoir of family and baseball. Good to see you, Dale.
Thank you, Steve.
So we have done, I was going back looking at this, as a longtime Yankee fan, as someone who just, along with millions of others, admired and respected your dad, and also a proud members of the community of Montclair who knew your dad very well, and your mom, Carmen. Mm-hmm. People think they know Yogi, or they knew who he was. Who was he to you?
Dad was the most innate, intuitive, genuine man I think that's ever walked the earth. He genuinely treated the landscaper, the dry cleaner, the exact same as the corporate CEO. And he did it without thinking. He did it without trying. And people sensed that. People picked up on that. People realized something about Dad, something different. In the airport, when Dad said, well, you're from Colorado, huh? What's the weather like? When they were finished with him, they were like, their world is better. There's something about him that comes off so genuine, and he does it without trying, and it's real.
But I'm also curious about you. I mean, back in the day, when we were kids, you played at Montclair High. You were absolutely superstar, third baseman.
Third base, shortstop.
You played a lot of positions.
Hockey, football, all.
You went right to the pros, right?
Yes.
The obvious question, look at him in a Met uniform. As a Yankee fan, I'm having a hard time looking at that, but that's another
about
story.
12 years old there. Yeah.
Look at you. Here's the thing. Yogi was the manager at the time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or coach.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But here's the thing. How much pressure on you being Yogi's son and also being an exceptional athlete and ball player for you? How much?
How's none? It's a very, very difficult explanation. My brothers and I felt no pressure because Dad didn't put pressure on us. Dad would drive up the driveway at the end of the day, and I'd say, hey, Dad, play catch with me. And he'd say, that's what you got brothers for. He didn't teach us. He had no interest in teaching us. He wanted us to have fun. He wanted us to succeed on our own. He knew somehow, intuitively, that his watching over us and trying to teach us would put pressure on us. And he knew not to do that. I was a far more pressure for me being a first-round draft pick than being Yogi Berra's son. People from the stands would yell at me once in a while, you'll never be as good as your old man. They expected me to go, you son of a, and I would go, you're right. And then all of a sudden, that bar by them, they'd smile and go, oh yeah. You know, because I didn't, all I could be is as good as myself.
Right. Right.
And for some reason, we just didn't feel pressure.
You know, the other part of this, Dale, and Dale's so candid in this book, check it out. You talk about some of your own challenges with addiction. Mm-hmm. How was your dad toward you during that?
He trusted us. You know, I didn't smoke pot. I barely drank. One New Year's Eve in the early 80s, late 70s. My friends, I'd come home from baseball. My friends were locked in the bathroom. They'd come out 3 and 4 at a time. Well, what are all these guys doing in the bathroom at one time? What's going on here? They're doing cocaine in there. I had never done a drug in my life. Cocaine to me sounded like that was a real hard drug. Right. I was afraid of it. It was so around me that Studio 54 days, everybody was doing it, so for some ridiculous reason, on a New Year's Eve, I tried it. And you know what? I liked it too damn much. And I was too dumb to realize what it was doing to my brain. My brain was telling me I was responsible and that I was using it recreationally. I never missed trains and planes and games. I never once played on it.
By the way, I'm sorry for interrupting. Tell everyone how many years you played in the pros.
I played
Yankees,
10 years
Pirates,
in the major leagues.
10 years. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize that staying up too late and not getting my proper rest was going to take away the skills necessary to play Major League Baseball at a high level. And I still swore I didn't have a problem.
Did your dad put pressure on you and say, hey, Dale, get it together?
No, because I convinced him I was fine. And he trusted me. We were going to make our own bed, and we were going to swim by ourselves. It's the way Dad raised us. You know, Dad came from, you know,
tough folks, St. Louis. He was St. Louis in a relatively pretty poor, if you will, Italian neighborhood. You know, Joe Garagiola, he grew up with as well,
right across the street.
Right.
You're talking about a guy who didn't speak English till he was 10. Quit school in the 8th grade to bring a paycheck home to his family. A guy who went into the service and stormed the beaches of Normandy in North Africa. He comes home, he wins 3 MVPs. He wins 10 World Championships, and he plays in 18 consecutive All-Star games. Here's a guy from Dago Hill in St. Louis.
They actually called it Dago Hill, and for those of us who are Italian-American, we know how derogatory a term that is. Go ahead.
Here's a guy who grew up on Dago Hill in St. Louis, who after he gets his 3 MVPs and 18 consecutive All-Star games and 10 championships, he becomes one of the most quoted men in America, a national icon, and he wins the highest civilian award you could possibly get, the Presidential Medal of Honor.
It was huge.
And other than that, he was just a normal guy.
You know, I was telling Dale before he came in, and Dale will document this, other than we used to go to the same church, Immaculate Conception Church, now with a different name in Montclair. Your dad and your mom, Carmen, were there a lot. But the other thing is he used to go to a place called Henry's.
Sure.
There's a place on Bloomfield Avenue in our neighborhood. And he'd stop in and they'd say he'd get the same thing every morning, and he had the same attitude, and they still talk about him.
Yeah, every day Dad went to Henry's. He had his routines down, boy, I tell you. And let me tell you, you asked me about what Dad did.
Go ahead.
One day it got back to him in my lies.
This is about your situation.
Yeah. One day, my lies to him, even though I didn't think they were lies, it caught up to me. It got caught up to me, and he called me on the phone and he said, "Hey, get up here." And in my day, when my dad said, "Get up here," you didn't take a shower and have breakfast and say, "Can I be there in an hour?" I mean, you were there in 10 minutes. And he sat me down in front of my family and had a crisis intervention with me. And he simply told me that your brothers are sitting there, but they're not going to be your brothers anymore. And I'm your father talking to you, but I'm not going to be your father anymore. You make that decision. And in about 5 seconds, I knew I would never do another drug or have a drink the rest of my life. And that was 3 decades ago.
Baseball today. Do you love it?
I love the game.
Do you love it the way it's played today?
You know, the players are so good. I watched that game last night. It was a tremendous game to watch the the Nationals come back and win that game.
Which, by the way, this is playoff season. We're taping in the beginning of October. Go ahead. You'll see it after.
You know, I'll be honest with you. My dad was either a manager and I was a player throughout my entire life, and I followed every stat in every baseball, and I knew every guy. You know, I knew everything. Obviously, I grew up with the Mets, not the Yankees, and now I don't really follow the game that much.
You don't?
I do not. I don't know. I don't even know the names of the best players in the league anymore.
It's so interesting. Those of you who are terrific athletes sometimes don't follow.
Right.
And those of us who are struggling, you know, we're more obsessed. By the way, can we do this?
But I do follow the Rangers and the Yankees and Rutgers football, so who knows?
We just had the AD in here.
So.
Can we do this? This is totally a non sequitur. I think to myself, Yogi Berra Stadium in Montclair University, where the Jackals play, opening day. Can we show this shot? There's a photo of your dad. I brought our son, who's 27 right now. He was 4 years old, and he's there, and he's there meeting your dad, and he still talks about it today.
Isn't that something?
And it was at the opening of the stadium. That's a big thing as well. Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
I mean, look at that kid.
Yeah.
Look at, and now he's 27.
I hear so many stories about.
There's a million of them. Listen, thank you.
Thank you.
We wish you and your family all the best.
Okay, buddy.
Okay. This is One-on-One. That is Dale Berra. We'll be right back right after this.
What can great minds do?
While at Seton Hall, I interned with the Superior Court of New Jersey, and that inspired me to go to law school.
I am a physics and civil engineering major, and I want to work on infrastructure in underdeveloped countries.
I'm the news director at one of the top college radio stations in the country.
I'm working with my professor on research that could help athletes during sudden cardiac events.
I started my own business, Classic Soccer Cleats, and I just sold it to a company in England.
Come see for yourself what great minds can do.
Also brought to you by NJ Best, New Jersey's 529 College Savings Plan. New Jersey Resources. Delta Dental of New Jersey. Everyone deserves a healthy smile. And by the New Jersey Education Association.